Hello, boys and girls. I'm back for part 2. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Cendrillon and what kind of character she was. Now, today, in part 2, we are going to start talking about focusing question task 1. So, let's get started. You are going to need handout 8A. Okay, this is assessment 8A. You will not have this, but you will have handout 8A, your focusing question task 1 evidence organizer. But we'll get to that in a minute, but just make sure you have it nearby. Let's take a look at what our expectations are for our first focusing question task in Module 4. It says, what do you admire about Cinderella the most? What do you, when we were talking about her and diving really deep into the kind of character she is, what did you admire about her? Be thinking about that in the back of your mind. First, read the evidence on the Cinderella traits chart. Next, choose a trait you admire the most about Cinderella. Then, write an opinion paragraph explaining what you most admire about Cinderella. You're going to support your response using evidence from the following text, Cinderella by Marcia Brown. And in order to be successful, you just need to make sure you have all of the parts of your opinion paragraph. Now, last week, we learned about our new writing organizer called this. Do you remember this? This is our, it's our opinion statement reading organizer. Mrs. Tima's having my brain is just like disappeared into nothing. So apparently I can't remember the name of it right now, but it will come to me. But it doesn't matter. We can keep going without it. We all make mistakes, right? Okay. So you are going to remember, you'll need to remember what this stands for. I know that the O stood for opinion statement. What is your opinion? The R-E in Oreo stood for reasons, and then the O, opinion conclusion. So make sure you're thinking about that when you're doing your writing, that you have all parts of this, because that's the most important part of your paragraph. If we look at what to be successful, we need to make sure we have all parts of this opinion paragraph. It also said to read the evidence on the Cinderella traits chart. Well, I put that here for you, just in case you don't have it in your notebook. We talked about how Cinderella cleans the house, so she's hardworking. That would be a trait she has. She helps her sisters get dressed for the ball. She didn't have to do that, but that showed that she was very kind. And then at the end, she forgives her sisters. And that means that she is a forgiving person. So you're going to choose one of these traits to talk about what you most admire. So you might most admire that she's hardworking, or that she's kind, or that she's forgiving. You need to choose one of those. Then you're going to fill out your opinion statement, your reasons, and your conclusion on your handout 8A organizer. Okay. Then this is going to be these are the sentence stems you're going to use to write your paragraph. So you could say, and it doesn't have to be exactly this, you could say, I believe Cinderella is blank because, or I think Cinderella is blank because. But if you want to use this sentence stem that we've provided for you, you can do that too. I admire Cinderella because she is kind, or I admire Cinderella because she is hardworking, or I admire Cinderella because she is forgiving. You're going to choose one of those from the character traits chart. Or if you come up with your own trait that's not on that list, that is okay too. You just need to make sure you have a reason to why you think that. So then you would say, she is kind, or she is hardworking, or she is forgiving because. And that's where you're going to talk about the evidence, because she cleans the house, or because she helps her sisters get dressed for the ball, or because she forgives her stepsisters. Okay, then you're going to write your conclusion. That is why she is, and then whatever trait you chose, that's where you're going to fill in the blank. That is why she is kind, or that is why she is forgiving, or that is why she is a hard worker. Okay, so you're going to use these sentence stems. Now, today, we're not doing any writing other than filling out your graphic organizer. You need to make sure you have this filled out because you're going to go to the last slide. And it says right here, click here. There will be a link right here to record a Flipgrid to practice reading your opinion paragraph. You will not submit a picture of your writing today. Today, you are only practicing your paragraph. Tomorrow, you will be turning in a picture of your writing. So you should have everything here that you need to be successful. You have your assignment. You have a picture of your handout, which you should have if you've picked up your fourth quarter curriculum bags. If you haven't, you can write this down in your notebook or your journal. Here is your traits chart. And again, you can come up with your own if you can think of something that you thought was a trait of Cinderella that was not on the list. Then you're going to write your paragraph. You're going to just write it down. You're going to use these sentence stems if you want to, okay? But you need to make sure you have all of the parts of the opinion paragraph. You need to have an opinion statement, reasons, and an opinion conclusion. Then last, you're going to go record your Flipgrid practicing your paragraph. All right, friends. Now, it is your turn to listen to Miss Spears to find out any extra instructions or help she has for you. And then get to writing. And we cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. So have a great day, and we will see you soon.
All right, we just discussed Cendrillon's character traits. Now we are going to return to the book Cinderella, adapted by Marsha Brown. The cover looks like what you see on the screen. And since we spent more time reading Cinderella and discussing Cinderella, we're going to be writing about that book. You will use what you have learned to write an opinion paragraph on Cinderella's character. Take a look at Assessment 8A, Focusing Question Task 1. It looks like what you see on the screen. Listen as I read the prompt. Task: what do you most admire about Cinderella? First, read the evidence on the Cinderella traits chart. Next, choose a trait you most admire about Cinderella. Then, write an opinion paragraph explaining what you most admire about Cinderella. Support your response using evidence from the following text: Cinderella, adapted by Marsha Brown. Checklist for success. Be sure to include all of the following in your response. All parts of an opinion paragraph. Now I want you to look at the focusing question that you are going to be answering in your opinion statement. I'm going to read it again. What do you most admire about Cinderella? So today you are going to get ready to write a paragraph on what you most admire about Cinderella. You're going to plan your paragraph by deciding what information you want to include. You will also practice sharing what you want to write with your learning partner. Now, to get ready to do that, let's review the Cinderella traits chart. In a previous lesson, you used Cinderella's actions to figure out what Cinderella is like. Today, you are going to begin by choosing the trait you most admire from the right-hand column. What I'd like you to do is read the traits along with me. Hardworking, kind, forgiving. What I'd like you to do is point to the trait that you most admire on the screen. Did you point? Okay, you are going to add the notes about the trait that you most admire about Cinderella to an evidence organizer for focusing question task 1. What I'd like you to do is take out handout 8A. It is the focusing question task 1 evidence organizer. You are going to plan your opinion paragraphs using this evidence organizer. Let's review the organizer. You will see the O for the opinion statement. The RE is where you list your reasons. And then the O is where you'd list your opinion conclusion. Okay, what I'd like you to do is write the trait that you chose in the first opinion box of the evidence organizer. Did you write it? All right, remember, Cinderella's actions provide the evidence that you will use for your reason. In your reason sentence, you will explain an action that shows the trait that you admire. For example, if you admire Cinderella because she is hardworking, your reason could be she cleans the house. If you admire Cinderella because she is kind, your reason could be she helps her sisters get dressed for the ball. And if you admire Cinderella because she is forgiving, your reason could be she forgives her sisters. What I'd like you to do is point to the action that goes with the character trait you chose. Are you pointing? Okay, now you are going to write the appropriate action in the reason box in the middle of the evidence organizer. I want to encourage you to write a word, a phrase, or an illustration that can help you capture Cinderella's actions. Did you write your reason? Okay, now you are going to use your evidence organizer to orally rehearse what you will write. I've given you some sentence frames to help you. I want you to point to each part of the cookie sandwich on the screen as I read the sentence frames. Listen carefully. I admire Cinderella because she is. She. That is why she is. What I'd like you to do now is pause the video and share what you are going to write with your learning partner, or just share aloud. Did you share what you were going to write with your learning partner? If you didn't, I encourage you to go back and do so, because you are just going to practice saying your paragraph aloud today, but in the next lesson, you will write your paragraph. All right, awesome first graders. Did you rehearse what you're going to write? If you didn't, I encourage you to go back and do so. We will continue with our Cinderella text in our next lesson, and we'll be thinking about similarities and differences. But until then, be kind and do something great, because you are capable of greatness.